Hey YouTube, welcome to Trevor's Vinyl World. Hope everyone is doing well. Today I want to talk a little bit about a movie I really love from back in the day. This was on TV the other night, and this easily in my top 100 films of all time. It's called New Jack City from 1991. It is loosely based off the Chambers brothers, who in real life in the mid 80s, basically they controlled 50% of the crack cocaine that was going into Detroit. They were making $3 million a day in sales. They were I guess you'd call them a crime syndicate, huge, pretty much like a corporation. Whereas in the film, the film takes place in Harlem, New York, in the mid '80s, and basically Wesley Snipes is Nino Brown, the coolest man ever. He just looks so cool in this, and he's like the main bad guy. He's the kingpin. And then his brother, G Money, who's played by Alan Payne, who the two of them are just really good in this. But basically, they decide to take over this huge, really ghetto apartment complex called the Carter. And what's interesting is they take over the Carter, and at one point, the guy, somebody's like, "You're not really thinking of taking over the Carter?" And they're like, "Yeah, we're thinking of taking over the Carter." And then I'm thinking, wait a minute, Lil Wayne had those albums, the Carter 2, the Carter 3. So in a way, it's kind of cool that I think Lil Wayne got that from New Jack City. But anyways, this crime syndicate called the Cash Money Brothers, with Nino Brown, G Money, this guy named Demand, and then they have a guy who does like their bookkeeping. His name is Kareem. But basically, they all take over this huge, I guess, apartments, and it becomes like crack central. And then Ice-T and Judd Nelson are undercover cops that are trying to bust Nino Brown and his crew. Another detective is Mario Van Peebles. Just a really good movie. It feels dated. I mean, when you watch it, you kind of know that it's like from the 90s. But I just love everything about it. I love Ice-T. I love Chris Rock is in it. And the scene where Chris Rock steals money from Ice-T and basically is trying to escape on a bicycle, it's just so iconic. There's so many good scenes in this movie, and it gets its flowers, but I also feel that because of Godfather and Goodfellas and what are the other gangster movies, I feel like New Jack City sort of gets not left out, but it's not quite on that level. But I've just always really liked it. I mean, it could be better, and there are a couple scenes in the movie that I don't exactly like the way that they did it. Like in other words, Nino Brown and G Money, they're close as hell. But it's like at some point they make it seem like G Money becomes addicted to crack, which is kind of weird because he's not the youngest guy in the world. He's already been in the game, and all of a sudden they're making all this money. They're making money hand over fist, and now he's going to decide to be a crack addict. That part always kind of bothered me. And then they're fighting over this real floozy girl. That part was kind of weird. There are some, it's almost like lazy writing at times in this movie. But for the most part, I don't have too many complaints. I do wish the soundtrack was better. I mean, it always baffles me when there's these movies that have like this one has Ice-T in it. Great rapper from the 90s, 80s. You're telling me that other than, I mean, he's got one song on the soundtrack, and it's awesome. It's New Jack Hustler, and it's a great song. But you're telling me he couldn't have had 2 more songs on this? So let's say that Ice-T would have had 3 songs on the soundtrack. And then they have a song from 2 Live Crew, but it's like a real laid back, like something about my dick is in the dust, dust, dust. It's a forgettable song. But anyways, if you had 3 songs from Ice-T, let 2 Live Crew do 3 songs. And then Flavor Flav is in the movie, but maybe Chuck D didn't sign off on it. I mean, there's no Public Enemy on the soundtrack, so you're telling me that you couldn't have had 1 or 2 songs for Public Enemy? I mean, can you imagine a soundtrack for New Jack City that has 3 songs from Ice-T, 3 songs from 2 Live Crew, a couple songs from Public Enemy, and then you mix in, like, it's got a song from Color Me Bad, there's some, like, Keith Sweat or R&B, but I just wish some of these soundtracks would have stepped it up a little bit. You know, it's just one of those things. It's like, come on, really? Because I do think the soundtrack is lacking, but that's nothing new. Most soundtracks, I mean, some people swear by soundtracks, but I feel when it comes to hip-hop, a lot of times the movies that actually have the really good soundtracks are ones that you wouldn't have guessed of. Like in other words, like Sunset Park was a basketball movie. That's actually a better soundtrack than like this or Boys in the Hood. I mean, it's just kind of crazy when you think about it. But anyways, you know, love this movie. I love New Jack City. I love the poster. I love, I mean, this is Wesley Snipes in his prime, just cool as hell. Like one of the coolest, just the way he acts, the way he talks. He doesn't give a fuck. He's just, his charisma, it just explodes off the screen. And then you got Ice-T, who, you know, just wants to get him so bad. Judd Nelson is horrible in this. In a way, he's so bad that it actually makes it kind of entertaining. There's a podcast I listen to, and they always joke about there'll be a guy who's in a movie, and it's like he thinks he's in a different movie. That's Judd Nelson in this. Like, you would think he's in a different movie, like just the way he's acting. And at one point, Ice-T and him are talking about crack and, oh, you know, it's taking over our neighborhoods and whatever. And Judd Nelson is like, you know, crack, it's not a white thing. It's not a black thing. It's a death thing. And I'm just thinking, like, whoever wrote those lines, like, come on, man, really? Like, so Judd Nelson is horrible in this. And I hate to say that because I love, like, Judd Nelson most of the time. You know, him in The Breakfast Club is just amazing. I mean, I love The Breakfast Club. I love Judd Nelson in that. But in this, like, they really could have done without him in this. But anyways, yeah, and this was like a Mario Van Peebles movie. You know, they tried to have him compete with Spike Lee, but most of Mario Van Peebles' movies weren't the greatest. This is one of his better. You know, like, New Jack City's awesome. So whenever this is on, I have to watch 20 minutes of it. It always hits the spot. So anyways, everybody like the video and subscribe to the channel, and you know, everyone have a good one. Talk to you later.